set up, but welcome to our very first live as part of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy launch week. I'm pretty excited to be here. I've got my crown on just to prove it. But doors open this morning at 8 a.m. And what I wanted to do was just jump on for the very first time and, say hi and talk you through what the program is. And, answer any questions that you might have as well. So hello to those people that are jumping on live and, hi also to those people that are watching the replay. Hopefully you've brought some lunch and you're not going to get hungry through the next sort of 15 to 30 minutes. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Kirsty. All right, so let's get straight into it so that I'm not going to waste your time. So what I wanted to run you through quickly was a bit of a schedule for what's happening this week. So every day I'm going to jump on live at 12. Tomorrow is going to be 12:30 because I'm right in the middle of clinic and it's the only time that I've got free. That's my usual sort of lunch break. Otherwise, every day is at 12 right up until next Monday. So we're going to go live every single day. There's a few lives that'll pop in later on in the week where I'm going to get a couple of the athletes that are in the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program already just to jump in and say hi and tell you a little bit about themselves. So that's going to be fun as well. So I'll let you know when that is happening. Hey, Carly. I'll post a schedule up again after this, but you can grab it from Instagram or you can grab it from Facebook and just pop those things in your diary as well. If there's anything in particular that you want to know that looks good on the schedule and you definitely want to come to, I definitely encourage you to jump on live if you can, or there will be a replay of these things as well going up on IGTV to watch back later on Insta. And then on Facebook, it'll be in the Facebook page and dietitian approved group as well if you do want to catch the replay for something that you missed. All right, so let's get straight into it. So doors have opened this morning for the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program, and what I wanted to run you through quickly was why I actually created it in the first place. Like, why does this thing exist? Hey, Robbie Clark Nutrition, what are you doing here? So I guess for the last sort of maybe it's 14 now, 13 plus years, I've been working in private practice with endurance sports and in particular triathletes. I've also been a consultant at Sports Dietitian to Triathlon Australia for the last 6 years. So I guess I've worked with triathletes from all walks of life, from people that have never done the sport before and are just grassroots beginners, all the way up to people that qualify for Kona and want to win Kona and do win Kona. And then also our Australian elite triathlon team. So the people that went to the Olympics. And also I looked after the para triathlon team as well. So it's a pretty cool job. I actually do love what I do. And so I guess seeing that breadth of practice, I've seen some really common mistakes that people make with their nutrition, and then also kind of piece together the key things that I think you need to do to get your nutrition right if you want to stay in the sport of triathlon for a long period of time. So what I've kind of put together is a bit of a framework to teach you how to do everything that you need to know to train for 3 disciplines, for swim, for bike, or run. We're not just a single sport. Triathletes are high achievers. And so, you have to piece together training for 3 disciplines, which is really busy, as well as, hold a full-time job and potentially have young family at home. So it is quite a busy sort of sport. And I don't find that triathletes this is generalist, but I don't find that triathletes tend to have just sort of cushy jobs. They're kind of highly functional. You guys are highly functional type people. So you have, highly functional jobs and then have to, work family commitments around that as well. So if you really want to fast track your success in the sport, then there's some really key foundations to your nutrition that will just make that whole process so much easier. We're going to go through some of those this week as well so that you can kind of get a sense for where I'm coming from, because it's not just a one-off. It's something that I've seen in practice over the last 13 or 14 years. Nobody does a few of these things right until they've had sports nutrition input before. Okay, so don't worry if you're sitting there thinking, I don't do any of this stuff. It's totally fine. It's really easy and it's really quick to fix. You just need the right structure and framework to be able to do that. So I've been working in private practice one-on-one for many years and seeing these things commonly. And I just feel like I'm repeating myself over and over and over, which is totally fine. And so the Triathlon Nutrition Academy program was born to try and teach more people the right things so that you can just fast track your career in the sport and stop winging it with just reading shit on the internet. There is so much nutrition BS out there, and I really want to change that. It's, not that difficult, but just with a little bit of guidance, you will see massive results. And I'm only one person. I can't, keep working one-on-one trying to help people with their nutrition. I would need to be able to help more people. And so therefore the Triathlon Nutrition Academy was born to try and teach more people the right information in the best possible way. So let me walk you through a bit about the program and how it works. If you haven't had a chance to have a look at it on the Academy page yet, head to dietitianapproved.com/academy just to read a little bit about, me and how it works and what you're going to get out of the program. That's the best place to go if you are thinking about joining or you want to read some more information about the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. So over the first sort of 8 weeks, we've got the first phase where we're going to really tackle our foundations of nutrition, because what I see is most athletes start with like a shiny object syndrome. They, blow heaps of money on supplements and pills and potions and, buy a really fast bike with carbon soled shoes and fast wheels and things like that, but potentially need to lose like 5 to 10 kilos or, don't do the right job with their recovery nutrition or their fueling nutrition as well. So we're going to build a solid foundation. And I always talk about nutrition like as a pyramid. And we want to build this solid foundational layer first before we start moving up the tiers into the more advanced sports nutrition principles. And then we put some sprinkles on the top of that, the top tier of our nutrition. Most people work this direction. They work with the shiny objects at the bottom and then go, oh shit, 7 years down the track, I need to actually work on my nutrition. And then they come and see me last. But really, if we try and flip it and focus our attention this direction, then you're going to have better bang for your buck out of your training and your body, and you're just going to fast track your success in the sport. Nick, one of the athletes in the Triathlon Nutrition Academy, said to me the other day, she said, I wish I did this 7 years ago. She's been doing the sport for ages and she hasn't ever really tackled her nutrition. But now she is. And she's like, why didn't I do this earlier? And I'm like, it's okay, mate. You're here now. So as part of the program, we're going to spend the first 8 weeks really working on our nutrition foundations. It's not that sexy, but I promise you will learn loads, and it's really going to change the way you manage your nutrition moving forwards. So every week we'll drop in a masterclass and some modules for some education and learning from me. And we're going to start ticking through some of the key elements that I think are really important to nail your nutrition early on. And then you also get me live every week. So you can ask questions, get answers, so that you're not kind of trying to fumble around in the dark figuring it out. You do the learning and then you can ask me straight away anything you're unsure of, and then also how to apply that to you and your specific situation. Okay, so they're the two main components of the program that I think where you're going to get the most knowledge. And then also you get to join our awesome community of like-minded triathletes. So you can high-five each other. You can talk about what's working for you, what's not working for you, share sort of things that you've learnt, share recipes, share ideas, all that sort of stuff. I find that triathlon is a relatively sort of isolating sport. In a way, like it is a solo sport. We often train in squads and groups and things. But, a lot of people train solo now, particularly thanks to COVID. A lot of people are doing online programs because a squad doesn't particularly work for them. So, you could be just training on your own and not have too many people in your like little network that you can just talk triathlon shop to all the time. Triathletes love talking about triathlon. And, you might have friends that aren't in triathlon and they're just like, shut up, I don't want to hear about it again. So you can talk shop triathlon all the time in our group. It doesn't matter. You don't get judged. It is a safe place. You also get, as part of the academy, access to the dietitian approved recipe database, which at this moment is like over 130 athlete-friendly recipes that I've developed to make sure that you're ticking the right boxes for protein, you're getting the right amount of carbohydrates, you've got some healthy anti-inflammatory fats in there as well. And of course, everything is really pumped up with vitamins and minerals and all of our nutrients that are so important as active people. because we do have a high need for some things if we're more active. So we're definitely going to make sure that all of that's happening for you, and you don't have to like worry about navigating the internet trying to find recipes that are going to be all right for you. You know that everything in there is already perfectly formulated for you. You also get access to a weekly menu plan throughout the program too, because one of the biggest challenges with nutrition is how to actually map that out in your week. So I've done all of that hard work and thinking for you and mapped out dinners for every single night and given you the recipe to follow as well as your shopping list to go on and get everything that you need. So like it's totally stress-free. It's going to save you at least 2 hours every week doing that. And it's just going to make sure that what you're feeding you and your family is going to be healthy and nutritious as well as delicious. So they're the main components of the program. You can jump on the website and just have a look at what we're going to do for the first few phases. So in phase 1, we're really going to work through the foundation. So I'm just going to run you through the topics that we're going to go through over the first phase, so you know exactly what you're going to get. So in phase 1, we're going to make sure we tackle our pre-training nutrition and our recovery nutrition straight off the bat, because that is one of the most important things you need to be doing is what your nutrition is around your training sessions. Most people don't do a good job of this, or their recovery is late or delayed, or it doesn't have the right components. We're going to talk about that later on in the week, why your recovery nutrition sucks. But these are two of the main elements that you need to start doing immediately. And so we're just going to tick them off in the first couple of weeks. Then we're going to spend a bit of time doing some meal planning and periodization, which is, again, something I bang on about all the time. And we're going to talk about it later on in the week as well in the webinar. So if you haven't registered for the Triathlon Nutrition Academy free webinar yet, make sure you click on the link in my bio on Instagram, or I can pop the link in Facebook here, or go to dietitianapproved.com/webinar to register for that free webinar. That's going to be on Thursday at midday. And again, if you can't make it, the recording will go out that afternoon if you do want to catch up on it. But one thing you need to make sure you're doing as a triathlete who trains for 3 disciplines is not eating the same thing every day. You need to have a plan for what a lighter or a rest training day looks like, as well as what a moderate or sort of double session day looks like, or a really hard double session day where you've got a hard session in the morning and a hard session in the evening. You need to eat totally differently for a day like that compared to a really long ride or a long run that might happen on the weekend. And maybe there's a swim in the afternoon of that as well, or you're doing a race-specific type brick. So you need to have an understanding of how to scale your nutrition for those different types of days. And that's going to be something we spend a fair bit of time on upfront in the Triathlon Nutrition Academy to make sure you get this right. Like, this is so important. And it's one of the key things that'll help you to drop body fat and still fuel training if that's something you struggle with. Like, you might think that you eat pretty well, but you're falling into a heap by Friday and not sure how to get through your long sessions on the weekends. And also, eating really well, but still have a few kilos of excess body fat that you might want to lose, and you just can't seem to shake it. Periodization and knowing how to scale your nutrition up and down for different training days is one of the key elements to get that right. So once we've done that, that's the first half of the program. And then we're going to tick off a couple of really key important nutrients that you need as an endurance athlete. So they are iron, which, among other things, carries oxygen around our body. It has a lot of roles and functions in our body, but that's one of the key components that we need iron for. And so if you don't have very good oxygen carrying capacity, then how are you going to breathe well and train hard if you can't carry oxygen around in your bloodstream? So we are going to make sure that you tick this foundation off early so that you're not coming to see me or, falling into a heap later because you're so tired, you're so fatigued, you're so lethargic because your iron levels are low. You have a high need for iron as an endurance athlete, and you also have high losses as well. Hi, Tri-Lover Healthy. I love your name. And Amy has also joined. There's a bunch of people on Insta. Sorry, I haven't said hi. I've been just too distracted. Okay, so iron is something that we're going to make sure you're not limiting in, and you're never getting to the point where your iron levels are low in your blood and you're feeling that like absolute exhaustion. A lot of people come and see me after they've got low iron, and we're going to make sure we preempt it and you're not getting to that point in the first place, because it can take 6 to 12 months to improve low iron stores. Particularly if you're trying to do it with your diet. A lot of people will supplement, but even with supplements, it can take sort of 6 to 12 months to get them to the level that we need them as an endurance athlete. All right, the next key nutrient that we're going to tackle is calcium, which again is so important for strong bones and strong teeth. But not many people realize that calcium is involved in every single muscle contraction. So as you contract your muscles running, swimming, cycling, breathing, you need calcium. And so we need to make sure we have enough of this in our diet, because if we don't, we're just going to borrow it from our bones, and that leads over a long term leads to osteoporosis and osteopenia, so brittle bones. So if you have a bike crash, you might be more likely to break your bones if you fall off, and then you're out for longer. As a female athlete as well, you could also be sort of doing damage to your bones if you don't have enough calcium in your diet long term. And, that's not something to mess with. If you're younger, so in your teens or early 20s, you're still laying down your peak bone mass. But if you're, 22 or older, then we're not doing that anymore. And we plateau our bones until we get to sort of 50 to 70. And it's all a bit of a downhill slippery slope after that. So we need to be making sure as triathletes we have enough calcium in our diet. So it's one of the things I'm going to teach you really early on, because again, people don't do this and you have no idea the damage that you're doing to your bones until you're older and you get a scan and you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia. So it's things that you may not think you need to know, but it's one of the key things that you need to get right early. So we're going to do that as well as part of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. And then one of the things that we're going to finish the program up on in phase 1 is making sure you understand what you need to be eating for long rides and long runs. Okay, something that people have no idea about. You might be pulling a carbohydrate target off the internet, which is completely wrong for you. You just may be very significantly underfueling these longer sessions. If you're feeling sort of wiped through them or absolutely wrecked after the end of a session, you can't get off the couch after doing a long ride, then chances are you're underfueling your long rides. And same as running. Like chances are, hey, Catherine, chances are you may be underfueling your long sessions. So we're going to work through a bit of a plan as part of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy and make sure you can tick off what you're doing for long rides and what you're doing for long runs. And that initial phase is going to set you up with a massively huge advantage to anyone else, because you've got a plan for what you're doing with your day-to-day nutrition. So you're going to have a meal plan to follow so that you know exactly what to eat and when for different types of training days, because we're going to work through periodization. And then you're also going to have a plan for what you're doing in long rides and what you're doing in long runs within the first 8 weeks. So we're really going to fast track you through all of the nutritional fundamentals that you need to know as part of the Triathlon Nutrition Academy. If you want to stick around after that, we move on to phase 2, which is going to be all about our short course race nutrition. So we're going to be building into sprint and Olympic race nutrition plans for you if you want to stick around. We're going to go through hydration and carb loading, what we're going to do to manage hot races. So if you live in Queensland or anywhere hot, then you'll need some strategies to manage racing in the heat here. As well as what you're doing in the lead up to the race and your recovery from a race as well. So we're going to go through all of these things as part of phase 2 so that you have a really solid dietitian approved plan for what you're doing for sprint races and Olympic distance races. Now, again, if you want to stick around for phase 3, we're going to tackle our long course race nutrition. So I'm not going to go into that here because that's pretty far down the track. But it's building into a plan for 70.3 and Ironman if you do want to stick around and do that sort of nutritional race nutrition with us for that longer course events. But yeah, I'm not going to go into that here. And of course, as we go through the program, there's going to be lots of my secret sauce and sprinkles right throughout so that you're getting really expert advanced sports dietitian knowledge at a fraction of the cost of what it costs to do it one-on-one with me. So if there's any questions, type them in. Let me just check. I can't see the questions on Facebook. One sec. Rolling with 2 screens. There we go. No, if there's any questions for anyone watching on Facebook or Insta, pop them in here. Hey, Dave Doxy. and let me know. I know I just did a lot of like verbal diarrhea at you, but if you want to check out the program, head to dietitianapproved.com/academy or click on the link in my bio on Insta. And it's all over my Facebook page as well if you want to go and check out a bit more about the details. But a couple of frequently asked questions I was going to run through, and feel free to give me your questions here. Or if you're watching the replay, pop them in the comments and I can catch those later as well. Chris Hamilton said, hi on Facebook. How you going, Hamo? I can't see who's watching on Facebook, so I'm not sure who's here. But a couple of questions I get asked are like, can I do this with my family, like my partner or my kids? And the answer is absolutely you can. I think that nutrition is obviously a one family, one household type thing. You know, you all generally do the shopping together. You might eat a main meal like dinner together. So absolutely, if your partner does triathlon or you've got some kids that are quite active, then they, of course, can come and do that with you as well. The other question is about the access. So it's an 8-week program, and I'm going to fly you through the really key foundations that you need to understand to become a supercharged triathlete. But of course, I know that life happens, and as a triathlete, we're busy. So I've given you 4 free weeks of access. So you've got 12 weeks access to the program to catch up on anything you've missed, or go and rewatch something as well if you didn't quite get it, or you just want to refresh, or it didn't quite, click that first time. Go back and do it again. And I've also got some bonus modules for you in those last few weeks if you have flown through the content and want to tackle some more things. So we're going to do some organization and mindful eating and a few extra things in there as well. So if you do want more, there is going to be more in those last 4 weeks. And then, ongoing, you can have as much support as you like. You get to hang around in the Facebook group forever, for as long as it exists. You can come and join the Facebook group and, high five everyone in there forever. And then if you wanted to sort of tap in and out, or, just keep access to the program and stay involved in our monthly group calls, then there's an opportunity to join our Supercharged squad after that first 12 weeks as well. So you'll hear about that when you come inside the program. The other question I get is about private health. Now, if you have dietitian cover, you may be able to claim the program on your private health. You just need to check if they offer a rebate for group consults, because that's what we're going to do, is some group consults. So I can send you an itemized receipt to give to your private health company if they do cover group consults. So just contact them and ask them if you do or don't, and you can get a sense for what the rebate is as well. I think the code is 700 off the top of my head, but I can check for you. If you do want to know, send me a message and I can just clarify. But I think the group consult code is 700 to ask them if they do cover group consults. All right, I think that's it. Oh, the other question I get is, how do you access the program? That's probably a big one. So everything is online. Thank you to COVID. Most people are pretty cool with online stuff these days. I've always worked online, but the program is all online. So you can either get it on your computer, or there's a phone app as well. So you get everything in your pocket. So you do get an advanced sports dietitian in your pocket, which is pretty cool. So it's really easy access if you want to go back and watch or listen to anything when you're in the car, or going for a walk or something like that, because it's right on your phone. Or if you do like to watch things on a big screen and take handwritten notes or anything like that, you can get it on the big screen as well. So it's all online. We get to chat every week in our Facebook group. We might do some Zoom sessions as well, and all of the information is all in that one place. So that's another main question I get. So if you have any other questions and you don't want to ask me in this forum, that's totally fine. Send me a private message or send me a DM or send me an email and I can answer that for you. But I will be online a lot this week. You're going to get sick of my face, because we're going live every day at 12. But tomorrow is 12:30. It's the only day that it's at 12:30 because I'm right in the middle of clinic and that's my lunch break. So I'm going to have to smash some food before we jump on live. But tomorrow I'm going to go through with you some of the key ingredients to become a supercharged triathlete and really introduce you to the Supercharged Triathlete Formula, which I'm really excited to share with you if you haven't seen it already. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow, and it'll be no more than 30 minutes because I'm back to back with clients. So I promise you it'll be short, sharp, and sweet. And if you can't jump on tomorrow at 12:30, then you can catch the replay either on IGTV or it's in the Facebook page and group over here. So thank you so much for joining me, everyone. If there's no questions, I will jump off and I will see you tomorrow at 12:30. I'll just see you then. All right. Oh. Get off.